he shows me exactly how much money and free ice cream he gave away. But it's something that's pretty cool. I mean, he's always been a big supporter of everything that we do, and when we have a good day here at Indianapolis where we win a championship, he celebrates with us down there.
Now you got the Prelude to the Dream at Eldora was rained out. You're going to have it coming up again.
Wednesday, September 9th. So the good thing is we got a sponsor with Gillette, and the Gillette Young Guns are all going to be there, and we're going to be back on HBO pay-per-view again. So if you can't make it to the race, you get to see it on HBO pay-per-view again.
What's been the biggest challenge or the biggest surprise in track ownership?
Well, I have to admit, the first day that I had the track and the first race I was at, I was sitting up in the booth and I was sitting there with my radio in hand and trying to just stay out of everybody's way. And I was like, I'm going to learn today. I'm just going to watch what everybody does and go from there. And I literally had got settled in. I'd been through the pits, kind of said hi to all the drivers and teams, and had went through the concession stand down there and went through the concession stand upstairs and told everybody hi. And so just got settled in upstairs, and I wasn't up there 10 minutes, and I got a call on the radio that I was being summoned down to the women's restroom in the pit area that was clogged up. That was my first duty as a car owner. I'm not kidding on this. It's the first call I got, so I thought, man, this is going to be interesting. So I went and fixed that problem, and then I learned a really good lesson in delegation. So I delegated somebody else to that job the next time, but I love it. I mean, I love Eldora Speedway. I love our track in Paducah, Kentucky. We've got one in Macon, Illinois that we're a part of, and I really, really love owning these racetracks and being a part of it, and just watching how the little things that we're able to do each year make it grow and make it more successful. And when you leave at the end of the night and somebody comes down and shakes your hand and says, hey, we appreciate what you're doing here and we had a good time tonight, that absolutely means more than anything to us.
I imagine over the years you've taken a lot of notes from a lot of different people in Cup and the lower levels of racing, just on the fan experience and how to give a good fan experience.
Yeah, we've been racing for 29 years now, so we ought to have somewhat an idea of what people like and don't like at a racetrack. But it's fun. I mean, it's hard. Obviously, dirt racing, it's not like pavement where if it rains, you can take a jet dryer out, and an hour later you can be running on it. The weather is a huge factor. The weather is the single biggest variable that is a concern when you have a dirt track. But I always joke around, and women, before you get mad, this is just a joke. It'll make you laugh. The guys are going to laugh their ass off, I know this. I always told them, I said, there's a reason that they call it Mother Nature. I said, because no man would rain on a racetrack an hour It's just a joke, girls. It's just a joke. If you could come up with a better reason why it's called Mother Nature, then tell me. Until then, that's my explanation.
How cool is it to be back with Chevy?
I love it. I mean, this is more than just a sponsorship. I mean, I was looking over here. One of our USAC midget cars is sitting over there that Levi Jones drives for us, and man, it's a family to me. It's not a partnership as much as it's being back with a family. I've been with General Motors since '96 when I started with Harry Ranier, and as it changed to Joe Gibbs, I was still in the Pontiac brand in '97, and we were with Gibbs all the way through 2002, and then back to the Chevy brand for the first time. And there's not been a better group of people to work with, people that make you feel like you're a part of their family. So I've always been a Chevy guy. I've always liked them better than the other manufacturers, and but once you become a part of their family, you learn the passion, and you meet people that are Corvette collectors, or you meet people that have bought and owned Camaros all their life. So being able to talk to those people and hear the passion they have for the brand is something that it just makes it grow inside of you. And I got two of the new Camaros now. I've got one that General Motors was awesome, and Chevy was awesome. It allowed me the honor to have the 14th car that came off the line of the new Camaros. So that's a car that we're going to put in our museum and never drive. And then I got another one that I can absolutely just wear out. So the county cops in Bartholomew County down there already know which one it is. Because first they get the call about it, and then they stop me, and then now they know, so now they don't even stop me anymore. But it's I kind of got a hall pass in Columbus. I can kind of get away with it. I think if I'm like 10 or 15 over, I can get away with a hall pass. If I try 20, I'm probably going to get in trouble, but they're pretty lenient on me down there.
That's when they walk up to you and go, "Who do you think you are, Tony Stewart?"
Oh yeah. Well, the funny thing is they normally make me sign the warning ticket they give me just so they can give it to their kid or somebody else that they know. So it still costs me the time. I said, you realize now that you've made me have to sign this ticket, I'm going to have to run even that much harder to get home on time. They said, it's all right, my buddy will be down the road to catch you too. They normally do, so they know the exact way. There's only one way to get to my house, so they know exactly which way I'm going once they stop me.
You know, I tell people, I say one of my favorite moments of the year is here on the grid at the Brickyard when you guys fire the engines. You know, the cars are on the track, you're in that canyon, and if the wind's blowing right, the balloons come across. It's a great moment. You just feel the history of this place. Do you guys get to feel that inside the car?
I've had the pleasure of being here for the pre-race of the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard. And the Brickyard doesn't take quite as long, thank goodness, because I used to be an absolute nervous wreck by the time that they called drivers to the cars during the 500 festivities. It's such a long ordeal getting ready for the race and all the pageantry that's involved. I was wrecked. So at least for the Brickyard, we're out there and they get us in the cars pretty quick. And once I get in the car, I'm fine. But the whole time that I'm standing outside right before the race, you know, all of our friends are there, all of our families there, and you know, there's so many of these Cup teams and crew chiefs and team managers that walk by and wish us good luck and everything. It's a big family with the NASCAR deal. And having all those guys walk up and wish you good luck, it's like, yep, thank you, let me get in the car now. It's just, all you want to do is just get in the car and get buckled in, and you know, once that green flag drops, that's when I settle in and get to business.
All right, we were talking earlier about the double file restart, and kind of get your thought on it. We were talking to Jimmy Johnson earlier, and he said that, you know, everybody says you got to get low going into turn one, but he said if you can't clear the guy, you may be better off on the outside going through two. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. It's you know, obviously it's kind of a narrow groove here at Indy, and it doesn't move around like we have it at the racetracks. I mean, it always stays on the bottom here, but man, I'm telling you, I think, in my opinion, the double file restart's been one of the greatest things that NASCAR's done.
Hell yeah!
It's awesome because there's guys that would get a lap down, and this is the part where I complain just a little bit, so bear with me, but there's guys that I don't even see during a race, and they're guys that normally would end up a lap down, and you know, you always end up lining up beside them, and if you were fifth on the track position, you were restarting 10th basically, and you'd get hung up behind guys that were lap down that absolutely didn't care whether you were on the lead lap or not. They were trying and fighting to get their lap back, and which they got to do, but it's like you got two separate races going on now. At least the first, you know, normally 10 or 15 spots are guys that are lead lap cars, and the fans know it. There's no guessing about when they take the green, is this guy a lap down or is he on the lead lap? I mean, if they're up there, they're on the lead lap. So, but it makes picking which lane you want as the restart guy that's on the pole. You get to dictate which line you start in, but third place on back has to stay in their normal order. So it makes it fun. I mean, it makes it a challenge to sit there and different tracks you want to be in different spots. So it'll be interesting to see as the day goes on which drivers that are leading the race, which line they pick to choose for the restart.
Well, Jimmy Johnson said because you were so good at Pocono, he thinks you're the guy to beat this week.
I hope he's right.
How cool would it be to get the 14 car back in victory lane at the Brickyard?
I was joking around Chicago week with AJ Foyt. We were here and we did some filming for the pre-race, and I was joking with him. And AJ and I are like, it's like big brother little brother relationship that we have. I mean, he picks at me all the time. I pick at him, and so I leaned over and I said, "Listen," I said, "my shoulders are getting sore." And he looked at me. He's like, "Well, what's wrong?" Because we were talking about health. We were talking about his feet because he's got terrible feet. He's had them mangled up in Indy cars enough to where they're just kind of broke up. And he was talking about his feet. I said, "Well, my shoulders are bothering me, and they've been sore for a while." He said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because I'm tired of carrying your ass with this number." So I told him, he just said, "Just get me a win here at Indy again with it, I'll be happy." So that's it's awesome. I mean, AJ's our #1 supporter, and you know, I'm really, really proud to carry that 14, and the guys on the team know how much it means to me, and it means that much to them now. So you know, anytime you see our guys anywhere around there, they're as proud of that 14 as I am.
Well, Tony, we know you got to scoot. Thanks a lot for spending time over here at Chevy Zone, man.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. Tony Stewart. Two-time Brickyard winner, two-time Cup champion, and your points leader.